Rebirth Island can often be a welcome break from the rest of Warzone. Sometimes it's nice to be able to take a step back from Verdansk and go and hit up something else. I do a lot of Rebirth videos and a lot of, I'm going to be answering a lot of your questions today about how to get better at Rebirth, about how to know where people are, etc, etc, etc. Number 5, picking your loadout. Personally, I'm a huge fan of sniping on Rebirth. I absolutely adore it. I think it's so much fun. And it's actually a very, very viable option. Despite the map being incredibly small, when players are gliding in, they have spawn protection, which basically means that they take a lot less damage. I don't know the exact percent of damage that they take less, but a lot less damage while they're gliding in. The only way to bypass that is by headshot sniping them. So it means you can get a lot more kills from sniping people in. Now, I normally pair that with an SMG, more often than not, a long-range SMG like the Bullfrog. It always has to have quite a lot of bullets in the mag as well, because once again, I'm using a sniper. I need to be able to take up a lot of up-close fights. If I'm using an assault rifle, I tend to build the assault rifle for more mid-range engagements. Chances are you're not going to be beaming people across the map because it's pretty covered. Using ARs, it makes a lot more of the high recoil ARs a lot more viable as well, because you're not going to be using them at 200 meters plus. Number 4, how to get the best start to your game. The beginning game in Rebirth plays a lot differently to Verdansk. You are going to be picking up a lot of kills very, very fast with floor loot guns. Normally, I try and get a loadout as quick as possible, but the floor loot on Rebirth is always pretty good as well. When you first spawn in on Rebirth, everybody does spawn in with a self-res, and that means that at the beginning of the game, you kind of want to be finishing all of your kills. For that reason, normally throughout the entire game, I only ever run throwing knives. I don't use grenades, I only use throwing knives, just because I like to be able to finish my kills. That leads me on to my next thing at the start of the game. Contracts are a waste, man. There's not enough time in the game. Each game of this, a full game, if you win, is normally 10 to 15 minutes long. I don't like to waste time using contracts. There's so much money floating about. There's no point in doing these contracts. Don't do a scab. The only contracts really that you need to be doing in Rebirth are bounties. Number 2 on this list is going to be repositioning. You're watching a clip here where I wipe one guy, reposition myself because the other guy's going to know where I am, take him on, come back and play this stairs. But a lot of the time you're going to need to reposition around entire buildings and things like that. The beauty of Rebirth is there's no real complete open expanses like on Verdansk. You have airport and the runway that you have to cross. You don't really have that with Rebirth. There's a lot of cover everywhere. So you can reposition from cover to cover constantly and fight different teams. A lot of these clips where I'm taking on full squads, you'll see that, and I think is a really good representation. Number 1 on this list, and the most important part of Rebirth, is arguably even more important than on Verdansk. The Rebirth map works in a beautiful way. When you kill an enemy and you finish them, the rest of the players on their team will mark up red on their map. Now, if they have Ghost, they won't mark up red, but they do still do this kind of wavy spiraling effect around them to give you an idea of their position. You just don't know what level they're on. If you compare that with a good pair of headphones and some nice audio, then you'll know pretty well if they're close to you. You can read so much from it, and it becomes more like playing team deathmatch with a UAV up constantly. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like, drop a follow if you're new and you want to see more top 5 tips as we come into Warzone Pacific.